What happened on day one, Bass Pro Tour on Kentucky Lake? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. I cannot film inside the house, so now I am inside the neighborhood and just trying to find someplace where I can film that's quiet, because there's people working inside the house, and without dogs barking or planes flying over or doing all that other stuff. So hopefully this works. As I say that, there's a plane. If you missed the Bass Pro Tour Major League Fishing on Kentucky Lake in Barkley, you don't realize what you've missed. Now, they do one period with forward-facing sonar and they do two without. We have had arguments for years about forward-facing sonar. Today, this morning, in the first period, 3 anglers caught over 50 pounds of fish without turning on their forward-facing sonar. Those 3 anglers were Michael Neal, Justin Lucas, and of course Jacob Wheeler. And we heard throughout the broadcast that there were many anglers thinking that turning on forward-facing sonar might have been a mistake for them here on Kentucky Lake. The anglers that had previous knowledge on Kentucky Lake didn't do well. You needed to have an open mind, find new areas. Where a lot of people thought the smallmouth bite was going to be crucial, it wasn't. It was all about largemouth bass. The minimum size for the weight of the fish was 1/8. And while there were a lot of dinks being caught, this first day of fishing on Kentucky Lake was as good of fishing as I've ever seen. Now, there was 66 anglers in the field this week. It is 2 qualifying days. You get to the knockout round, it is the top 20. The top 30 get paid, but to get to the knockout round, you need to be in the top 20. The top 10 move into the championship day for $150,000, which is the most any professional bass fishing tournament series pays for the winner. And there were tons and tons of anglers talking about how they were struggling during their practice periods. And it was hard to imagine anyone struggling that was in the top 10 because they flat out smashed them today. They smashed them with forward-facing sonar, they smashed them without it, and it was one of the better days of just watching fishing. Now, Kentucky Lake is 250 square miles. Period 1 was outstanding. Period 2, when some of the guys who didn't use forward-facing sonar in that first period turned it on in the second period, it was nonstop catching scoreable bass for 30 minutes straight, it seemed like. And Kentucky Lake is showing out to be one of the best places to catch quantity numbers of fish. Maybe not the quality that you want. You're not going to see 7, 8, 9 pounders, but you're seeing consistent 3, 4, and 5s. And it was as good a fishing as I've ever seen. Now, there were some surprises. And the surprises were guys that had previous knowledge out there, like Edwin Evers and Anthony Gagliardi, Jeremy Lawyer, Bobby Lane, and Dave Lefevre all had a lot of knowledge. Even Terry Scroggins put on his Instagram how he had 20 spots before he went there because he's been there so many times. Those 20 spots had no fish on them. Those guys that relied on past experiences didn't do well. And if you didn't learn new water during your practice, you didn't do well on day 1. Now, there's always day 2 because you have the same, what you caught in day 1 rolls over into day 2. But some of these guys are really far behind after 1 day. And I left with just a few minutes left, and there were a couple anglers that had not caught a scoreable bass yet. And that stinks. But they still have another day that they can make it up and hopefully get into at least that top 30, because the top 30 get paid. If you can get to that top 20, you're moving into the knockout round, where weights will zero. But the top 10 were Michael Neal, Jake Lawrence, Jacob Wheeler, Justin Lucas, Cole Floyd, Colby Miller, Mark Rose, Dustin Cannell, Adrian Avina, and Spencer Shuffield. Tomorrow will be another great day. It was awesome. And to be honest, I want to have a cameraman on this person's boat at all times, and that's Andy Montgomery. I just love listening to that man talk and talk fishing and telling you what he's doing. I love him when he's with Ott and Edwin, and I love him even more here. So hopefully he has a cameraman on his boat. But tomorrow we'll get another day of the Bass Pro Tour on Kentucky Lake in Barkley. And I fully expect it to be just as good as today. But did you watch it? What did you think? And who's your favorite to go into? Who do you think will have that freebie to miss the knockout round and go directly to the championship? And is it worth doing it? Because that's another game plan that needs to be thought out. I know it automatically gets you into that championship and more money, but it seems like the anglers who get that automatic buy just don't do well in the championship round. Could this be the lake that changes it? Comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and everyone who's interacted on the channel. I really do appreciate it. It's been a humbling experience, and I'm just so appreciative of everybody who is part of this channel. You guys are just absolutely rock stars, and I can't say thank you enough. I got a new bike. I'm going to be doing another review on a scooter that I just love. Thing rocks too. It's really comfortable. But needless to say, tomorrow I'll probably do this someplace around here or maybe at the house. I'm not sure. But thank you for everybody. But comment below and tell me what you think. Remember, take your kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.